Greetings, comrades. Hope this finds you well. Quick shout out to INN, the Indian News Network, which I am a part of. Definitely follow them on all the social media accounts. So I saw Jimmy Dore made this video yesterday commenting on the Kyle Rittenhouse case, and his big focus of this was how, all these different media outlets were talking about how Rittenhouse crossed state lines, and what is the big deal about that? People cross state lines for a lot of things, which, okay, fair enough. But he was also saying that, well, the media is saying that Kyle Rittenhouse is a white supremacist, like he killed two people, both white. He shot and wounded another one, they were white, so how could he be white supremacist? Jimmy Dore obviously doesn't have a very good understanding of what actually white supremacy means in practice. So let's take a look at what he says, and then I will kind of point out why he's talking bullshit when he says Kyle Rittenhouse isn't a white supremacist, and because what he was doing going to Kenosha was the definition of white supremacy.
One of the craziest talking points of this whole Rittenhouse thing, what I said is like that he's a white supremacist. He's 17 when he did this. When this happened.
Well, you can be a white supremacist and be upholding white supremacy at 17. So I don't know what his age has anything to do with that. It seems like a bit of a non sequitur there, Jimmy.
And if he's a white supremacist, I guess he must be remedial because he only shoots white people.
Okay. Geez, yeah. So Jimmy Dore doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about here. Kyle Rittenhouse, in his own words, said he went to Kenosha to protect property, to protect this car dealership from, having its cars or its, buildings destroyed, right? So that is the definition of white supremacy, putting property above people's lives. He wasn't going there because he was pissed off that Jacob Blake got shot in the back by that cop. He's now paralyzed, I believe, from the waist down, right, for the rest of his life. And this white supremacist system values property more than people's lives, whether it's Jacob Blake, or so many other people, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, etc. This white supremacist system that we have in the United States values profit over people's lives. Kyle Rittenhouse was going there to uphold white supremacy. He was more concerned with protecting that car dealership, with protecting that property, than he was with what happened to Jacob Blake, right? Yet Rittenhouse claims he supports Black Lives Matter. Obviously doesn't. I mean, then you would have been on the other side of that equation. You would have been rightfully pissed off. You would have been in the streets. And as Martin Luther King said, rioting is the language of the unheard, right? And I think that is a very good point he made there, right? So Jimmy Dore, very off base when he says that just because Rittenhouse killed white people doesn't mean Rittenhouse wasn't there, upholding and perpetuating white supremacy, right? Again, white supremacy puts property before people's lives, and white supremacy also harms white people, right? Like, those people that he killed were white people, and Rittenhouse was going there to protect private property, to protect a goddamn fucking car dealership, right? You can repair shit. They've probably had insurance. Those people's lives, they're never going to get back. Kyle Rittenhouse hadn't went there to protect an inanimate object, a goddamn fucking car dealership, right? He had more connection to that than the people he ended up, murdering, killing, because he was more concerned with protecting a goddamn car dealership than than people's lives, right? So that is the definition of white supremacy: putting profit, putting property before people's lives. So Jimmy Dore, way off base. And again, as he likes to point out, he's just a jagoff comedian in his basement. So it's not super surprising that he has this type of jagoff comedian take when it comes to this case. He obviously doesn't really understand what white supremacy is and how white supremacy can actually and does harm, white people as well, because it puts, the needs of the capitalist class, the needs of, property and profit before people's lives, obviously disproportionately, people of color, BIPOC communities, but also, poor white people as well, and people who come up on the other side of the system who are rightfully, pissed off when the cops shoot people, either murdering them or, paralyzing them, as happened to Jacob Blake in this case. But again, also needs to point it out that, in the criminal legal system that we have here in the United States, that's a much better term to use than the criminal justice system, because there's no type of justice in a white supremacy system. So we shouldn't obviously been expecting any type of justice to come from the criminal legal system in the United States, because it was built, and the foundation of the criminal legal system is based on and upholding white supremacy. So it's not surprising that Rittenhouse, got away with this, right? So Jimmy Dore, just way off base on his take here. And it's not surprising, his analysis is usually very shallow. And this is, just another example of that, right? Not saying you necessarily need to, cancel him or anything like that, but his take on this and siding with Rittenhouse for somebody that claims to be on the left is pretty problematic, because again, what Rittenhouse was doing was supporting white supremacy by wanting to protect private property, and ended up costing 2 people their lives, and another one got, shot and wounded. So just a jagoff comedian with the jagoff take from his fucking basement, right? Like the video if you like the damn video. Subscribe for more content. Quick shout out to the 2 Uber comrades supporting my channel, my partner, and Indie Left News. Definitely check out Indie Left News. Peace.